Howdy. My name is Brian Batista. My friends call me Bunny. It's a long story. And I am back in my studio. I'm working with some Nupastels. Now these Nupastels are actually new for me. I never used them before. They're a very firm, high chroma chalk pastel. I had bought them a few years ago in order to use for a course I was taking with Zachariah Logan, and I never really got to use them. So I have someone staying with me, and she was sitting on the edge of the couch, and my roommate Ray and I were watching a movie, and we have this pink light in our living room. And she was looking at her phone, which casts this like blue light up on her face. So I whipped up my phone really quick, took a low res picture in which to work from, and then threw some paper down. Now, I've been working doubles in order to pay for my past trip to Japan and to help fund my next trip, which is in a week or so in Portugal. And so in the day, I teach all day, and then there's like a 1 or 2 hour break in between classes where I've had a chance to throw this up and work on it in small amounts for just a number of days. And that's why there's a lot of what appears to be wardrobe changes. And I'm just knocking away at it. So now I'm back in my studio because I happen to not be teaching tonight and doing some finishing off. So let's have a look.
I love the colors pink and blue, especially when combined. It's actually kind of funny that I'm revisiting this color scheme because I was working with these relationships back when I first began art school. I was doing self-portraits and a whole series of work in pink and blue. I sought to enhance and convey the beauty in the light that I saw. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take a photo that really captured it. My aim was to keep the values as true as I could, while using these highly saturated pastels, so really to push how much color I could get. I have never used Nupastel before, but I am very happy with the texture and the amount of pigment color, the softness and blendability that they have, but also they're a really cheap way to throw down color quickly. So a way to help you learn to paint better without having to invest in tons of equipment or oil paints. I do wish though that I had a little more time warming up because I feel at first I failed. I didn't really have a systematic approach. I didn't, line the pastels up in a row of the things that happen in light and happen in shadow. I think that would have made for less work in the long run. So I would take a photo on my phone or switch it to black and white and then sometimes line up the photo to see some distortions because at first the eye was a little too low and too far right, but it ended up having to be how I drew the iris kind of threw me off. So I'm a little disappointed in my ability to render and to get my proportions correct. I have been drawing a lot, but I hadn't drawn a portrait at this scale, so there was a little bit of distortion and warp. And of course, practice makes perfect, and if I put a little more time in, I think I could be much happier with the final product. The other thing is, I was doing this at ACAD on the wall until I moved into my studio, and one of the teachers told me that we're actually not allowed to use pastels for whatever health reason or whatnot in the studios. So in order to finish, I couldn't do it in between classes at the school. I had to move into my studio at home, where I can do whatever I want, however I want. After the fact, after staining my hands completely and rubbing some of the colors into some of the bright chroma I didn't want to, I realized I had tortillons or stumps or Q-tips that I could also use. So basically, I enhanced how pink the light on the light side was, and I enhanced the blueness of the light that was cast from her phone on her face in this piece. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think at first it might be, it's a large head, so it's also a little shocking. The colors are maybe not true, but the values were pretty close to the real thing. And I'm pretty happy in the end with how well it turned out. So I pinned it up and gave it as a gift to my basement dweller, Miranda, and I hope she likes it.
Thank you for joining me I appreciate you watching these episodes, and I hope that the color usage and seeing how it's done has encouraged you maybe to pick up some Nupastels yourself and to give it a try. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and you join me again for whatever it is next that I create. Ciao for now.